Hey friends, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Kristina, and in this video today, I just want to play with some makeup. Very excited. Some are fairly new releases, nothing that's been crazy viral lately. Honestly, I've just had a bunch of makeup that I bought within the last couple months that I have yet to play with thoroughly. So I figured today would be a really good day to just sit down and play with some makeup with you guys, just chat a little bit as well. So if you guys are interested, then just keep on watching. I want to start on the eyes, and we are going to be taking this Colourpop Orange You Glad palette right here. Very beautiful shades. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. So for my eye primer, I am going to be using this L'Oreal concealer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear More Than Concealer in the shade Latte. I was between this one and Biscuit, I believe. I went for Latte because I figured this one would go really well if I do end up getting a little more color before the fall hits. I mean, I live in Florida. It's warm here all year round, so I don't doubt that I'm gonna get more color. I always opted for primer because back in the day when my eyelids were really oily, concealer just didn't really help. But I think that my skin, or at least my eyelids, aren't as oily as they used to be, so I think it'll hold pretty well. I'm gonna go in with this RCMA powder. I've had this powder for years, I feel like, and look, there's still so much powder in there. It's not the best packaging for getting stuff out or getting the product out. Maybe they've changed it since I bought it. I don't doubt that. I'm just gonna put this all over my eyelid so that concealer isn't sticky. So to start things off, I'm taking Creamsicle right here in this corner, and I'm gonna go ahead and blow out my crease. You guys already know the drill. I really like taking these midtones and really blowing out my crease because you know that I have pretty small eyelids, so I'm gonna take it above as well. I have not sat down to film a makeup video in what feels like forever. I guess I just don't really feel super inspired lately, because here's the thing, I'm trying not to buy every single makeup release because one, I'm trying to live on a budget now and really get a hold of my spending. I used to buy every single makeup release that was happening. It was just really irresponsible with money, and I want to be able to settle down. I want to buy a house. I just don't want to worry and live paycheck to paycheck like all my life. So I'm really trying to be more responsible with the spending. In turn, that means, you know, being more strategic about all the makeup that I'm buying. Like, what am I going to be using the most? If an eyeshadow palette comes out and it has like one pop of color, I don't need that. You know, like the rest of it is neutral. I don't need it. I've recently found a channel that I think has really put things into perspective for me when it comes to spending on unnecessary things, or not unnecessary, but just not as necessary things like makeup. And I will link her down below. I believe her name is Whitney. Her videos are really nice and concise. She gives you lists of, you know, why you may not need the most recent makeup launch. She just has a lot of really good videos that I think are worth watching if you're struggling. If you already don't want to spend money on makeup, but you're struggling to kind of justify not spending money, go ahead and give some of her videos a watch. By the way, that was an Almar brush. So I'm going to take Rise and Grind on that e.l.f. brush. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush. It is a little powdery, you can see right there, but it doesn't bother me too much. Like I've said before, you just blow that off with the palette. So I'm taking some of that shade on my brush, and I'm going to go ahead and pack that onto my eyelid and go up to the crease color. I'm going to pack this on really well because I have a feeling that it's going to kind of get washed out underneath. So I'm just doing this in tapping motions because I want to make sure that it's as intense as possible. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. This shade right here would be such a nice shade to just put all over the lid and then blow it out and do like an intense cat eye. If you want to do like a mini makeup photo shoot, I think that would be the perfect shade. You guys, this palette was $12, and this pigment payoff is amazing. Like I said, with the whole budgeting thing, I feel like a $12 eyeshadow palette with all orange shades makes sense for me, because if I'm being realistic, I'm not going to be wearing orange shades every single day. You know what I mean? So buying a high-end eyeshadow palette with just oranges, not really the best idea. I mean, this one is great because if you ever want just a pop of orange, you can just pull this palette out, use 1 or 2 shades, and then use a neutral palette that you already own. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shade and kind of blow it out, and we are going to clean this up at the end. I'd rather have more eyeshadow down this side of my face than less than I need, because putting it on after concealer and all that stuff, it gets harder to clean up. Now I'm going to take Sunkissed right here, and I want to put it up between my brow bone and where this shade, the creamsicle shade, ends. And I'm just going to put a very little amount because I want it to be very subtle, where it kind of looks like there's dimension, but you don't really know why or how there's dimension. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I'm taking this Morphe M514 brush right here, and it's less dense, and it's not going to pick up too much product, which is going to be perfect. I tapped off the excess, and then I'm going to go in and do very small strokes here and be very deliberate with where I'm putting this shade. And I'm using such a light hand for this. Now I'm taking this NYX pigment primer right here. This one I bought at Walgreens a while back, and you only need the smallest amount. This is gonna help the shimmer shade really stick to the eyelid. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the center of my eyelid and kind of work up towards the crease. I'm really gonna feather it because whenever you put this on your eyelid and it sets, it is there. Wherever you put the most of this pigment, it's gonna stick, and it's gonna be very obvious that there's way more in that area than anywhere else. I'm using a tapping motion to get this spread out on my eyelid, and then, like I said, very lightly dispersing this. I'm actually gonna go in with my pinky, really lightly tap this in on the edges so it's not a harsh line. I'm taking a Sigma eye shading brush, a number E55 right here. I'm taking the shade Squeeze Me, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on the eyelid, focusing on the center of the eyelid and then working my way out. Periodically opening my eye so I can see where the eyeshadow is stopping or where it ends. And I wanna make sure that I'm going above my crease because I do have kind of a monolid. All right, so that looks good. So I'm gonna do the same thing to my left eye. So I like the way that this looks right now, and I'm gonna go ahead, go back in with the same shades, the matte shades that I used earlier. So it looks defined again like it was. And I'm blending together the Rise and Grind and Squeeze Me shades and putting it closer to the inner corner, kind of creating a halo. I think I have the eyeshadow where I want it to be right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the face, and I'm gonna finish the eyes with the mascara and the eyelashes after that. For the face, I have a couple of primers in front of me. I have my e.l.f. Putty Primer, my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Lock Primer, and then my Maybelline Master Blur Stick. I think I'm gonna use the Blur Stick because I've talked on and on and on about the e.l.f. and the L'Oreal one. Just gonna pat that into my pores. So I want to use this Milani Soft Focus Glow. It's just like a liquid highlight. It's such a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow. I have Golden Glow. Next up, I'm taking my Maybelline Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup with sunscreen. It has SPF 50 in it, and this is in the shade Almond. I've used this product before and I really like it. I'm just taking my Kabuki brush and I'm gonna go ahead and start to spread it on my face and then use a damp sponge to really blend it into the skin. I've heard people say it smells like cake. I don't know if I think it smells like cake, but I can't pinpoint what it is exactly. It's not my favorite. I could live without it, honestly, with the scent. But that goes with a lot of makeup products. I would say that this does come off full coverage, but it's like a buildable full coverage. So with one layer, it doesn't cover up all of my freckles. I hate when I get makeup in my baby hairs and like powder and foundation and stuff, and it makes my baby hairs look gray. That's such a huge pet peeve of mine. So I've blended it out fairly well, and I'm gonna go ahead with this EcoTools sponge and just pat my face and make sure that there's no streaking. This is a brand new sponge. I love brand new sponges. And I got it in the pack with the smaller one, which is really great for concealer. Okay, so like I said, you can still see my freckling pretty much, but that's all right. I'm gonna go in with a concealer. I'm gonna be using that same one that I used to prime my eyelids, the L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer. Take this under the eyes. Gonna use this brush from Farrah, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the concealer with this and then go in with my sponge. Using a brush to spread it out first, in my opinion, really helps you use less product, thus looking less cakey. This concealer has fragrance as well. This one's definitely stronger. It smells way more like perfume. I don't like this scent, to be honest. Taking my sponge, and I'm gonna go ahead and lightly blend this all in. That sponge is actually really hard right now. I don't know if it's because it's new or if it's not wet enough, but I'm gonna go back in with that same sponge that I used for my foundation and blend it. It does look a little textured under my eyes. I don't know if it's the concealer or if it's just my skin. Anywhere that I feel like I need a little more coverage, I'm gonna add some more concealer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a cream blush. This one's from Glossier. This is in the shade Beam. Oh, I got way too much. And I'm just gonna tap my sponge in there, get a little bit of product, and then very lightly tap it onto the cheeks. I bought this sponge right here from Real Techniques. It's a microfiber sponge. It feels very odd. I am not gonna lie. This is what it looks like up close. You can see that it's kind of like fuzzy, and this is supposed to help you pick up powders easier. I'm used to using a wet sponge to pick up powder, so that's why I wet it. It said that you can use it dry. Really curious to see if this microfiber makes a difference. So I think since it's not as intense in one area, it's gonna make sure that it's less cakey, or it doesn't look cakey. I'm just gonna place all of the powder where I want it to be, and then I'm gonna brush it off. I'm not really gonna let it set for very long. You can see on the sponge that a little bit of my concealer and foundation are coming off. I look like a hot mess right now. I'm just gonna sweep it off of my skin. Whatever is left on my brush, I'm gonna go ahead and powder the rest of my face. I don't wanna add too much more powder. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see what happened to my freckles. I feel like once I added that cream blush, it kind of took off the concealer and foundation that was on my cheeks, and you can see my freckles more. Those are sunspots and freckles, but mainly sunspots. I hate them so much, but you can really see them right now. I don't really like the finish of that. All right, other than that little section right there, I think the face looks really good. I'm just gonna go in with my trusty butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is the Sun-Kissed Bronze. I think this is the medium shade that they have. I'm trying really hard to tell myself not to start sweating. I think for this look, I'm just gonna stick to my Milani Luminoso blush because it's a nice peachy color. It won't clash too much with the orange on the eyes. I have this Maybelline Master Chrome highlight, and this is in number 100 Molten Gold. Gonna go ahead and take my Milani highlight brush and apply this to the high points of my cheeks. I'm gonna go ahead and fill my eyebrows in with my L'Oreal Brow Stylist eyebrow pencil in dark brunette. I go between dark brunette and brunette all of the time, so it's really your preference. Both of them look pretty good. Sometimes this spoolie gets really gunky the more you use it because I use soap in my brows, so I just take it between a paper towel and I just run it through and clean it up. I have these lashes that I've had for ever, and they're from AliExpress. You guys know that I really like lashes from AliExpress. They're gorgeous and they are so inexpensive. I think these were like $1 to $2, like no joke. I will link them in the description box down below for you guys if you're interested in picking them up. The only thing is when you buy them, buy a lot at a time because it does take a while to come in. It usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks to come in, so keep that in mind when you're ordering them. I'm gonna cut these so that they fit my eye better. I put the smallest, the thinnest line of eyeliner on my eyes. I feel like no matter what I do, when I put false lashes on without eyeliner, I always get that weird gap between my eyelashes and the fake lashes. I got the Duo Quickset Strip Lash Adhesion Glue, and I always do House of Lashes eyelash glue because it's never steered me wrong. Look at this, guys. It's a paddle. It's not a brush. It's an actual legit paddle. It's so interesting. I mean, some people use the back of makeup brushes, so I feel like this is about the same concept. The glue is a dark purple navy blue. I got the one that dries dark because I do have black lashes, so it just makes more sense. All right, gonna let that glue dry down, and I'm going to cut the other lash. So I went ahead and applied the eyelashes. They're pretty dramatic. I'm not gonna lie, they're like more than I'm used to lately. I do have smaller eyes though, so if you have larger eyes, these might be the perfect pair for you. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the same creamsicle and rise and grind shade, really blow it out on the lower lashes, and then apply some mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm also going to go in with Ya Peel Me right here in the corner and put it closer to my lash line so it looks more full. And now I am going to apply my lip products. Alrighty everyone, and this is the final look. What do you think? Do you guys like this orange trend that's going on right now? I was a little bit nervous about how bright this orange was until I put the lashes on. The lashes made such a big difference in my opinion. I think because I'm more on the tan, olivey yellow skin tone spectrum, orange really does complement my skin. I love this so much, and for $12, this palette, oh, there's an eyelash on that. Do you guys see that? This palette is totally worth it. You can create something that you can't create with half of the other palettes out there right now. If you have this palette, what are some looks that you've done? Please let me know. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this video for you guys. Please let me know what else you would like to see from me. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!